Unbelievable. I got this wine home, and the first thing my wife did was make an amazing veal parmesan. She didn't have a sip of the wine. She immediately opened up this 2018 Spellbinder red blend from Sleight of Hand Cellars. This is the first time I've actually got to taste it, with that not being any veal parmesan. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Scott, and you've tuned into the Rookie Pacific Northwest Wine Enthusiast channel. Thank you very much for joining me on this beautiful Easter Sunday. Where before we go ahead and jump into the wine review though, please, if you do like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. I am shooting for 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think I can go ahead and do that. I think that there's enough interest in Pacific Northwest wines that enough people would say, you know what, I do want to see this content. So when you do hit subscribe, little bell icon's going to pop right up. Go ahead and click on that little bell icon and select all that way. When I do upload these types of videos, you are notified. Also, if you do like this particular video and my content, please feel free to share it amongst your friends on different social media accounts. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, I was at Costco the other day and I picked this wine up for $12.99. Now, I know that in the Pacific Northwest there's a lot of talk. Matter of fact, one of the Facebook groups that I'm involved in, it's called Let's Talk About Northwest Wines. They just had on the makers on a Zoom call from Sleight of Hand Cellars. And it was one of the reasons why when I saw it at Costco for the price that I saw it at, I was like, you know what? This is a good reason to pick this up. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So that being said, Sleight of Hand is based out of Walla Walla. They have a lot of different wines. I don't have their story behind them, but I do know that it is quite unique. Anyways, my wife and I, this last fall release, we tried to get into Sleight of Hands, but due to COVID, unfortunately, we weren't able to get an appointment. But this particular red blend, I'm going to go ahead and read it here. It's 56% Cabernet Sauvignon, 27% Cab Franc, which, to be honest with you, that really intrigued me, because there's been some beautiful Cab Francs coming out of the Walla Walla area recently. 50% Merlot and 2% Petit Verdot. So let's go ahead. On the nose on this particular wine, I mean, this is an intense nose. When I first opened it up, and of course, like I said, my wife, she made some veal Parmesan yesterday. She immediately opened up, didn't have any of the wine. So it has been open, it has been exposed to about 24 hours worth of oxygen. But it made it it helped make a great veal Parmesan. But the nose on this is relatively intense. I'm right here, and I'm getting just an intense red fruit note, some cherries, raspberries. There's some spice notes to this, almost like a ginger, and a little bit of a curry note. Yeah, I mean, this is an intense, fruity, fruit forward with some spices on the nose. Now, I'm not getting a whole lot of tertiary notes, any earthy notes, which, you know, I'm hoping to get some of that on the palate. Anyways, let's go ahead. The color on this, by the way, this is a light purple, but it's also very not translucent. It's almost, and when I say light purple, it's almost a dark garnet, more along the lines of the color. Anyways, let's go ahead and have our first sip, shall we? Okay. Body. This is a relatively full-bodied wine. Tannins. The tannins grab you right off the bat, but then they're relatively short. I would love to give this almost a full tannic mark, but it's more along the lines of a medium plus on the tannins. Now, the sweetness on this, there's some initial fruit sweetness, but it's still relatively dry. Acidity is where I think this wine kind of falls off just a little bit. It's more of a medium minus on the acidity. The finish, I would say it's about a medium finish. Here's the thing, and I'm going to go ahead and have one more sip here because I want to get into a little bit more of the fruit notes that I'm getting on this. Okay, I'm getting those red, I'm going to take my glass off here. I'm getting those red notes, those red fruit notes, the raspberry, the cherry. There's a slight jamminess now when it comes to the fruit notes. If you ever had a mother or a grandmother that made a fruit jam or a fruit preserve and there was that little bit of tartness to it, that tartness really comes into play about the medium way through the palate, and it kind of lingers. It's what's holding on and making the finish hold on longer than I think it really wants to. Now, as with that, I'm getting on the finish, and if you don't like 100% cacao powder, a very bitter dark chocolate, that comes through on the finish. I personally like it. I'm somebody who enjoys the ketogenic lifestyle, so I don't eat a whole lot of milk chocolates and sweet chocolates or sweet items anyways, and I do like my really dark chocolates. Matter of fact, I'll take 100% cacao powder sometimes and I'll put it in my coffee to give it that really dark, rich, bitter coffee note or chocolate note, and I'm getting that on this finish. And it's unique, I gotta say, you know, that I think, now according to the bottle, I think they said that they, see, this is why I had my glasses on, damn it. I'm not blind, I just need them for reading. It was aged for 11 months in neutral French oak barrels and large oak upright tanks. I'm wondering if they hadn't what would have happened if they would have introduced a little bit of new oak into this blend, what that would have done, if that would have maybe taken some of the oak tannins and the vanillas that a good oak barrel would give and kind of mellowed out that bitterness. Again, if you like that dark chocolate finish, you know, you're gonna love this wine. But if you don't, it's gonna seem a little bit, and I know I use the term disjointed a lot, but there's almost a jamminess, fruit jamminess that comes to the front and the middle part of the palate. There's a little bit of fruit sweetness there, and then all of a sudden there's a tartness that shows up. Again, that tartness that your grandmother or your mother, when she was making those jams, would add a little bit of acidity. And then again, there's that dark, unsweetened chocolate note there on the back end side. Anyways, now their website, and I'm going to get into this just a little bit, so this video might be a little bit longer, but the website, these guys do sell the Spellbinder for about $20 a bottle. Again, I picked this up at Costco in Bonnie Lake for $12.99. Now, why didn't I buy it directly from Sleight of Hand? And this is something that we've had some discussions on. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and just say it right now. I think Costco and wine retailers like that, you know, they are buying directly from distributors. Very few of them buy directly from the wineries. And because once it's out of the hands of the winery, we have a 3-tiered system here in the state of Washington. And I'm not sure that Sleight of Hand would agree to sell it for $12.99. You know, I don't know what the agreement is between the distributor. But the nice thing is one of the reasons why I go to Costco and I purchase wines like this is I didn't get a chance to go to Sleight of Hand sellers during fall release when my wife and I went up there. And this gives me an opportunity to take a relatively inexpensive wine at $12.99. And is this a $20 wine, which is what Sleight of Hand sells this for? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, yes, I think this is a good $20 red blend wine. And why it makes me want to go ahead and explore more of Sleight of Hand's products. Okay, but for an entry point, it allows me to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and give this a try. Because those people that know me, I believe red blends in particular and blended wines in particular, there are so many wineries and winemakers out there that their red blends are an afterthought. And my rule of thumb is that, and this is my own personal way I look at it, is if a winemaker looks at a red blend as a core part of their product, they're going to take into consideration the flavor and actually try to produce a good product. But there's so many winemakers out there, and there's so many winemaking companies that their red blends or their blended wines are just an afterthought. It's what's left over of the grape. Let's go ahead and throw this together, bottle it, and call it something. This is not. This is something that obviously there was some care and taken into it. The only thing like I said, the only thing I think that this might benefit from is a little bit of new oak, and I think it might have taken and blended that tartness and that dark chocolate more integrally with the fruits. So anyways, if you like this content, like I said, please subscribe, like, share. Have you had Sleight of Hand? I know there's a lot of people in the Facebook group that absolutely love, and the Facebook group that I'm talking about is I like Northwest. Let's talk about Northwest wines that absolutely love Sleight of Hand. This wine does make me want to go ahead and visit their location. So anyways, let me know down in the comments down below what you think. Do you think my tasting notes are completely off? You wouldn't be the first person to tell me that. So like I said, that's why I'm the rookie. I don't have any formal training. I do this because I love Pacific Northwest wines. So let me know down in the comments down below, is there another Pacific Northwest wine that you guys want me to try? That's a red blend. We're jumping through here. We're going to be going into April and May. By the way, at the end of April, I have a surprise for you. I'm taking my son down to Austin, Texas, and I'm hoping to try some Texas wines. Let me know down in the comments down below if you want me to review a couple wines while I'm down there. So anyways, folks, as always, please, please, please drink responsibly. Life is too short for bad wine. So please drink good wine. It's better for you to drink good wine versus just to drink wine, which is garbage. Anyways, again, everybody, happy Easter. This is when this video will be posted. He has risen for those that believe. Cheers. Yeah, I'm glad I bought 2 bottles actually. I just gotta make sure the wife doesn't use it all for cooking.